This has kind of been a heated conversation that's gone on the past two shows. So, would you want your guy to sacrifice his life for you? And I suppose the best way to frame this is, in some hypothetical scenario, would you want your boyfriend or husband to take a bullet for you? Starting with you.
Sure. So I wouldn't necessarily want that scenario to take place, but you're saying in a hypothetical situation
where one of you has to...
One of us, okay.
Yeah.
So my relationship, my marriage is based off of biblical principles. So when I ask that question, I say, what does the Bible say about it? And the Bible says that the husband's role in a marriage is to love his wife like Christ loved the church. And so that means basically to lay down your life if you have to, because that's what Christ did for the church. He laid down his life. So I guess in that hypothetical situation, if my husband was following the principles of the Bible, he would want to do that. So yes.
Yeah, but to clarify this, though, hang on, I'm sorry, before we can move on the question, I got to clarify two points. First, just for my own curiosity, what denomination are you?
I'm non-denominational.
Non-denominational Protestant?
I think Protestant's a denomination, isn't it?
No, it's just, we won't get into the specifics. It's not important, but just for my own...
I call myself a follower of Jesus. That's it. I don't say I'm one thing or the other.
Okay, got it. So the question specifically is, would you want in that situation, would your preference be in that situation that the husband, because you're saying he has higher duty, correct? So you're saying he has a higher duty, and part of this duty is to protect you, and part of that protection is that he takes the bullet, right? Just to clarify.
I would say yes.
Okay. All right.
I think when you love someone, if you love them unconditionally and...
No such thing as unconditional love.
When you really love someone, I think you would want to put your life down for them. So honestly, I wouldn't want him to necessarily step in front of a bullet for me, because I would give my life for someone I love. Does that make any sense? So he would want to do that for me as I would want to do that for him.
I feel the same. So I agree with her. I would also do the same. I would do the same for my husband, but yeah.
Yeah, but see, this is why I was really specific on questioning you about this, because you claimed that it was not a preference, but that he had a higher duty. There's a distinction, and I hate to harp on this but details matter, right? So does he have whether you want it or not, does he have a higher duty to do it from your worldview?
I guess define higher duty,
So the definition of a higher duty is the prevalence that his duty to jump in front of a bullet takes precedent over your duty to take one for him.
Then no. Sorry, I didn't understand what you meant. So
then how is that a reflection of the church? I don't understand. Because you started with the reflection of the church is that the man is the sacrifice, as he's the head of he's the representation of the head of the church, which is Jesus Christ, who sacrificed himself on a cross, right?
Right.
So then,
but my duty
so then his duty, wouldn't his duty, his higher duty, be to sacrifice himself for you?
Yes. So it's yes and no, because I also feel like my position as a Christian or as someone that loves Jesus is to also replicate him as well. So for me, I don't just say, okay, only the husband has to do this.
I think
it's like it's non-exclusive.
What?
So it's my duty as a Christian that believes in God to replicate basically what Jesus lived. So it's to follow Jesus is to live as he lived on this earth. And so that means to lay down your life for a friend, a husband, someone you love, whoever. That's just the way that it is, the way that I believe. So I don't want to say my husband, I require my husband to do it, and I don't expect myself to also want to do that thing for him, if that makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense, but we can move on from him.
Okay.
I think you answered you would take a bullet for him. I mean, but do you think, would you date a guy who wouldn't be willing to do that for you?
No, because that means that he doesn't love me in the same way that I love him. If you love someone, you're in a relationship with them, or let's say in a friendship, this is my best friend. If I would take a bullet for her as well, just as I know she would want to do for me.
But isn't this sort of a unidirectional thing? Only one person can protect in this scenario. Only one person can take the bullet,
Yeah.
right? So, I
Well,
mean,
it's whoever's faster at.
Exactly.
would it be? Do you think men would refuse to date a woman who isn't prepared to take a bullet for them?
No, I don't think men necessarily. I don't think
They
that.
wouldn't. They don't look to women for protection.
No,
Yeah.
that's.
Do you think a guy is less masculine if he wouldn't be willing to take a
Yes.
bullet or die
Yeah,
for his
because I-
girlfriend?
I
or
do.
wife?
If there
Okay.
was an active situation where that was happening and he freaking pushed me to the side and like ran away, I would be like,
You
yeah,
dump
that's
him,
not a
right?
man.
You dump
That
him.
is a little
Do you
baby.
think men would, at similar rates, if their girlfriend did something similar, like ran off scared, coward, whatever, do you think they would be more or less inclined to perhaps they'd lose attraction or end the relationship?
I mean, that's up to the man. And
Do you think they would care less, though, than
I do
women
think-
would care about that?
I think women probably do care more
Okay.
about that.
Your answer to the question, do you want a guy to sacrifice
Can
his
I,
life?
can
for
I,
you?
I'm sorry, can I jump in just
Sure.
real quick, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you a question on this, kind of following up on Brian's question. Do you think that you're an honorable person? Would you consider yourself an honorable person?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that it's appropriate then for whatever man you're with to defend your honor?
Yeah.
So
Does-
if that's the case, if he's defending your honor, that's going to put him in a situation where he could get hurt, right?
Yeah, that actually did happen in my relationship.
So
that I'm
so
in
then
now.
hang on. So then
Got-
if that's true, then you're basically saying that he has a higher duty to
Yeah.
take damage over you.
yeah.
So the expectation is not equal that you're going to take a bullet for him, he takes a bullet for you. The expectation is that he's going to take the bullet, right? Because you're willing to just put him in harm's way on behalf of your honor, right?
I'm not
Yeah, not
willing
that
to.
she's willing.
I'm not willing to put him in harm's way in any scenario, but
Well,
it's
no,
he-
but hang on. Nope, because we just went through it. Answer one. Man has a duty to defend your honor because you're an honorable person. You literally said your man has that duty. So if he
doesn't
has a
have to
duty to do
necessarily
this,
lead to
that means you.
violence,
Hang
though.
on, almost done. The entailment of that is that you would be willing to put him in a situation where he takes damage on behalf of just your honor.
If
Describe
someone
a
was
situation like that.
If someone was attacking my honor, how am I putting him in that situation? I'm not
Well,
going out of my way. I actually have a scenario.
Well,
that
hang on.
goes
I'm going to tell you
perfectly
how.
with this. Okay.
I'm going to explain so that you understand. Because your expectation for him is that he has a duty to defend your honor. So if that's the case, if he has a duty to do this, then you have the expectation that he's willing to put himself at risk just to defend your honor. We're not even talking about, a bullet at this point. Just your honor could actually get this guy killed, right? Potentially it could.
I also have a duty to defend his honor as well.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to defend it the same way, are you? You're not going to be able to, for instance, if a guy is bad-mouthing him or something, you're not going to be able to walk over and punch him in the face. It's not going to be very effective, is it? But he can do that on behalf of you, for a male, right?
You can
He
verbally
actually do
defend
that.
someone's honor without it leading to violence.
Yeah, but that's not what we were talking about.
Well, it's interesting that
and
you
by the way,
said-
hang on, almost done. And by the way, the situation that you're talking about, when you said that actually happened to me, I'm guessing included violence, didn't it?
Do you want to hear about the situation? Or?
Did it include violence?
Well, yeah, but not.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured.
Okay,
So
so
anyway, go ahead.
do you think that he shouldn't then? Do you think that he shouldn't defend
Well,
my honor?
it's not a question for me. It was a question for you. So I'm just giving you the entailment of your logic. If the entailment of your logic is, wait a second, it's equal. I would take a bullet for him. He would take a bullet for me. And yet, when we get down to the nitty gritty, you believe that you're an honorable person, and you therefore believe that your honor should be defended by a man. This means, if that's true, that you're willing to put a man in harm's way just for the purposes of your honor.
That is putting
We
so
haven't even
many
gotten to
words
it
in my
yet.
mouth, but I also
Well, no,
can
no, I'm not
defend
putting
my
words
own
in your
honor.
mouth. I'm just giving you an
I can
entailment
also
of your
defend my
logic.
own honor, and that's not how logic works. You can't just say that I'm willing
Oh,
to
tell
put
me how
my,
logic works. Give me one rule of law of logic. Give me one law of logic. One.
It's based in fact and truth.
What? What? Can you give me a single law of logic?
Can you?
Yes, I can
Okay,
give you
so
all three
this
laws
is
of logic. Would
semantics.
you like
This is
them all three in a row?
semantics. You're putting
Here, let me
words
give
in
you
my
all three of-
mouth.
No,
I
no,
also
stop,
can
stop,
defend
stop.
my
I'll answer your
honor.
question. Let me give you the
You
laws of
can
logic so
interrupt
that you
me, but I-
understand them.
okay.
The first is the law of non-contradiction. The second is the law of excluded middle. Right? How many would you like? Would you like to get into informal logic as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Would you
Andrew.
like to get into the law of identity? That's the third law. What else would you like?
That's semantics at this point.
No, that's literally the opposite of semantics. Do you know what semantics are? Because that's not semantics.
Okay.
Can you help
Natalia's enjoying this one.
She has so
I
much she
do.
wants to say.
Here,
I
you
just
guys can let me just get everybody's answer on this, and we can come back.
What
if
was the
necessary.
question?
I would like to come back to this.
So, you want to keep going?
Well,
okay,
I
here,
just
go
want
for
to.
it.
I just
Okay,
want to
give yourself-
clarify that by me saying that I would want my man to defend my honor is not me purposefully putting him in harm's way. I'm fully capable of defending my own honor as well. And I did say that I would be willing to defend his honor, but you said it wouldn't be effective. So that's.
Yeah,
No,
I found
no,
that
wait,
interesting
wait.
that you
So I
literally
can't-
said
sorry,
that
I
she
can't-
would
I
not
can't give you-
be able
can't give her-
to.
Hang on.
In the same way
our
you said it would
argument.
be
Let us
about-
have it.
no,
Let us
no,
have
no.
it.
Hold on, just let him respond. Let him respond. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, let me respond. So, the entailment, it is an entailment of your logic. So that you understand, if you make the claim that you have honor and a man needs to defend that honor, the entailment of that is that he's going to get put in harm's way. I don't know how you get out of that. That's just basic deductive reasoning.
I also said that I would be willing to defend his honor, but you said it wouldn't be effective.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with anything? Even if that's true, it does not
I think
negate
that if you
the point of the
respect
entailment
someone
of your logic.
and someone is attacking someone that you respect, you would be willing to defend their honor. That's just.
A man also has honor.
Hold
that
on.
need-
Okay. I'm moving it on. Go ahead. Answer the question.
What was it? Would I take
you
a
want-
bullet?
What's the
Would I? What was
Would
the
you
question?
would you want a guy to sacrifice his life for you, take a bullet for you?
Oh God, like right in front of me? No.
Just let you die.
So you'll take the bullet?
Okay, here's an other way to frame it. Would you date a guy who wasn't willing to sacrifice his life for you, assuming you've been dating for 2 years or you're married?
No, I would. I mean, like, because the expectation would probably be, and as he said, that I wouldn't be able to defend his honor in the same way. But
Forget the honor thing.
Sure,
Forget the
but
honor
if,
thing.
you know.
Just answer the actual question.
Well, I think of like my friends who I love, and I would take a bullet for them.
Would you?
I would. And
You'd
so if
take a
I
bullet
were
for
to
your friends,
be
okay.
in a committed relationship with somebody, with a man, and I would feel that way about him, I would want him to feel the same way about me.
But okay, isn't there a gender expectation for men to protect women?
Who are these people who are coming up to me and being like, you are your boyfriend, like choose now? Like, that's not a hypothetical that I'm ever.
But it's a mentality.
Yeah, it is a mentality. And
here,
I'm not
let me
saying
help-
I
let me-
expect
let me-
somebody
hold
to
on.
die
Let me
for
just
me,
help.
but.
Let me help you guys.
Like a burglary.
Hold on. Let me help
Yeah,
you
I
guys
need some
here.
help.
Let me help you guys so you can have an enemy. I would not be willing. I don't care if she's my girlfriend or wife. I would not be willing in that scenario to take a bullet for her. I would not die for my girlfriend or wife.
Would you watch her die in front of you?
If in a hypothetical scenario it's me or her, she can take the bullet.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm not taking it for her.
Have you been in
Scoot
love?
your
Have you been
mic-
in love?
scoot your mic
Have you
Have you been in
back.
love with somebody before?
Yeah, I've been in love.
So
And you would let her die?
These women,
Something spill.
No, it's empty.
you're single.
I don't disclose my
Okay,
relationship
so-
status.
You,
Why not?
I'm not going to put words in your mouth, so I'm
Go
just
ahead.
going to ask, and you can tell me if this is correct.
Go ahead.
You
can do split.
would probably prefer a woman who respects herself and has, confidence, high self-esteem.
Yeah. He
What?
would, I think.
Do you want a woman who
How's-
respects herself or doesn't respect herself? Do you think a self-respecting woman would look for that in a partner, for
Don't
them
care.
to blatantly say,
Don't care.
okay, so
She can respect her. Yeah, I'd prefer to date a woman who respects herself. Sure. I don't really see how that's related.
okay,
but-
so if we're talking about like high value women,
So now, okay, so
we go.
because I've taken this position, now you guys can actually answer the question. So what you're saying is, in order for a woman to respect herself, she would only date a man who would be willing to sacrifice his life for his partner?
I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm more so asking like the kind of women that you would want to attract, right? Because what you put out there, you also attract.
Yeah. So is your position a woman who doesn't respect herself would be willing to date someone like me? Because ignore any other considerations, but just by the fact of
if a woman doesn't
I would not be willing to sacrifice my life for a girl who, for example, I've dated 1 year. I wouldn't be willing to do it.
You said wife also.
Sure,
so.
fine. 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, whatever. Don't care. Any period of time.
I guess in this situation, I would say probably not.
She's not self-respecting.
If you're actively
So what about a woman?
advertising that, I don't think a woman, yeah.
Okay, so then just reverse it. So would a guy not be self-respecting of himself if he wasn't willing to date a woman, or if he dated a woman who wasn't willing to take a bullet for him?
We've already established that I think men have a higher...
Okay, so it's a gender role.
Yeah, it's a gender role.
Okay. Okay.
So that's not really your beliefs.
It absolutely is. But did you give your answer? Demi,
Huh?
did you give your answer?
It worked.
Yeah, didn't I?
That was
Did you?
pretty- she said her.
You guys can't actually answer this straight.
What did I say? That I would expect him to take a bullet? Yeah.
You guys say, well, I would do the same thing for him, but you got to understand, this is only one person can take the bullet.
Can I chime in?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think it's a lose-lose situation.
Don't,
Because I think if a man
don't.
did that for me, I would die of a broken heart. If I had to
That's-
watch the person
that's
I love
actually
die in
retarded.
front of me, like what would be the point?
We weren't allowed to say that word.
Whatever, I have the pass. I'm
sorry.
I'm a Arsler. I can say it. I have the pass. You would die of a broken heart. Okay.
That is so traumatic. Watching your husband or
I
loved
think you're
one-
overthinking the hypothetical a little bit here.
Are we or are you? Like, what is are we in
Most-
two
do you
separate
think
rooms?
most-
Like, we don't have to watch? Like, what is the
it's-
hypothetical?
Yeah, it sucks for widows. I get it. Do you think they die? Like they die too?
I
A lot
would
of
never
them
be the
remarried.
same.
Huh?
I would never be the same.
Yeah, but okay, that's kind of irrelevant.
I would honestly rather take the bullet, I think, because I don't think I could mentally handle that.
Yeah,
Like,
and then to
So
live with
you'd
the
rather
trauma.
die.
Yeah, it
You
would
can
be my time
mentally
to
handle
go.
orgies and shit. You couldn't mentally
Those
handle
are
this?
fun.
Like,
Those are
isn't
fun.
that
Excuse
also
you.
extremely damaging to a person's psyche? You
That's
can handle
fair.
all that.
It depends how you
Watching
look at
someone
it.
get murdered is just a little bit
It's-
different.
Yeah, I think it's just
Yeah.
a tiny bit of a different thing.
Okay. Here, go around the table on this. I need to adjust the camera set.
Yeah, I think that there is an expectation on men to protect women, and I think that I think it's extremely noble, extremely honorable, extremely sacrificial, and I think men should be looked up to for that responsibility. That's how
So
I
would
feel
you
about
prefer the man to take the bullet for you?
Yeah,
It's
I would. I would prefer it. Even though, like, I would be a wreck and I would be heartbroken. Like, I would be hurt if I would not want to be with somebody that didn't have that mindset.
I agree.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I'd prefer it.
Okay. Perhaps this question ought to be framed as, would you date a guy who was not willing to sacrifice his life for you?
Well, see, that's what I was kind of like. I would prefer it, but I wouldn't necessarily immediately look down on a man if he didn't.
And he has more
I
to
wouldn't say
lose.
he was low value just for that reason alone.
Yeah, well, because we brought this question up recently, and it will kind of somewhat segue into the main topic of the show, the man versus bear thing. But, and I've stated this in 2 other podcasts so far, and it's honestly quite an interesting conversation that we always have on this. But the frequent comments that I get on this is, well, you're less masculine because of it. You're not a real man because of it. You're going to have a hard time finding a woman because of it. Women shouldn't date you because of that. So women seem very upset by this idea of men not falling into this disposable role of they ought to sacrifice their life for a woman. But so ultimately at the end of the day, what would you want?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I would. Sure, it would be nice if I would like. I like the idea of a man I'm with caring enough to want to protect me like that. But like I said, I don't think if a man like if for whatever reason that conversation somehow got brought up, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, he's low value or not a real man or anything of that nature just because he wouldn't want to take a bullet.